have all the doubts been cleared. This is both a chapter of immense heartwarming, but also of a deep sense of dread and foreshadowing maybe for a common death. Are we gonna tell our... For even if Jinbei joins the Straw Hat crew, will he still have a limb? Or will he just lose his life? Or is that a sign of lifespan? This chapter is a combination of that, with many heartwarming, but the ending hints that someone is at the end of that cape. Is next week's chapter finally gonna confirm how Pudding's personality really is? And what will Jinbei lose? Will he lose his head, his arm, his legs, or that final thing? Is that meant to be lifespan? It would make most sense if he lost lifespan, but don't get me wrong, that is almost as bad as losing a limb. If he loses a limb, maybe it's best if the arm. I mean, but then again, it's not confirmed if you can't use Yojin Jujutsu if you don't have two arms. But if Jinbei loses lifespan, how much? I mean, he is over... What is he? No, wait. He's not over 40. He's 50, isn't he? Either way, but this chapter of One Piece, chapter 830, was full of heartwarming. But, as I said before, I cannot help but sense a deep sense of dread. It begins with Jinbei having a talk with his crew members, who I must note looks entirely much more different than the anime and anything else portrayed them to be. Turns out that Jinbei really grew on Luffy so much that he actually sincerely believes that he is a Straw Hat in his full heart. He believes Luffy will become someone who can become king of the pirates, and he wants to board his ship and sacrifice his life as him. Turns out he has talked about Luffy a lot these last 2 years, says Aladdin, who we see now again after 2 years, or not 2 years, a lot of years. And all of his crew members agree that he should join them. Apparently, a lot of these Sun pirates. I mean, it has been confirmed that a lot of the Marineford slaves of that Tisha Taiga saved are in the Sun pirates. So I think it's only presumed to believe that every single Marineford slaves joined Jinbei's side, right? So does that mean that they were the only ones who were not? They were the only ones that Jinbei's crew is the only one who had ex-slaves? Either way, they agree that he should join them, seeing that Jinbei's choice has always been for someone else other than his own. He became an officer in his pirates only because he wanted to repay his debt to Fisher Tiger, therefore ending his duties in Neptune Army, and to fight alongside the ex-slaves. He accepted the Shibukai so he could let them get back home, and also become a subordinate of Big Mom so they can be protected and protect their kingdom for them. So yeah, a lot of the things Captain Jinbei have done have been for others. So they think they should be a bit selfish and do this. Talk about true friends, right? You have to agree, that is true friendship. Also, turns out that Aladdin has been promoted to a vice captain, so if Jinbei leaves the crew, we can only guess he will become the new captain, right? But it's also confirmed that Aladdin is the one who was forced to marry someone in Big Mom's crew. So yeah, it's official. Every single one who enters Big Mom's crew must get married to one of her children. And also, here's the funny thing: Big Mom have a mermaid daughter, or at least half a mermaid daughter, maybe a shark mermaid daughter. No, it's more prominent to call her. Apparently, she's a half hammerhead shark fishman, a merman, a mermaid. Ugh, this is such annoyance. Why can't I never say the thing? So wait, half? Wait, if she's half, how come she can breathe underwater? Okay, going back going back to Jack the Drought. You all remember him, right? Being stuck on there on the ocean floor and seemingly still alive. If the theory is really correct, if he is half fishman, does that mean that those with the half fishman and half merfolk blood can still breathe underwater? I mean, it's pretty awesome that we're finally seeing some half children, because that means it's not impossible for them to have children. But Big Mom had a child with a merman? A hammerhead merman? Nah, it can't be that thingy. But still, she doesn't look a single bit like a half one. She looks she looks more like a mermaid. Then again, her tail fin is not split in two, so I guess we could presume that a half mermaid do not get their tails split in two. Either way, the one who she's the 29th daughter of the Charlotte family. Her name is Charlotte Praline, and apparently she and Aladdin is in love, or maybe it's more like uh, or maybe it's more like she is madly in love with Aladdin. She's saying something like, "You know, I choose you over Mama at any day of the week." And Wadatsumi has also joined the crew. So, but Perlini is skeptic that Jinbei will be able to sever his ties with Big Mom because everybody who have done that had died. And so it's turned out that Muscot has indeed died. And they will just take him away like that. And then they see someone who's called Sir Montdor said something like, "Do not leave for even a single second, do you hear me?" Huh? What the hell does that mean? Either way, the wheel that Big Mom decides to solve this solution with a wheel. Because even though they are pirates, Jinbei will still shamed her as a family member. So this roulette, when she spins, Jinbei will apparently lose something. So what is that he will lose? It has numbers, it has heads, and it even has crowns. So what does that mean? Is she gonna put a dart, or is there some kind of spin like that? Is he gonna lose an arm? Is he gonna lose a leg? Is he gonna lose his head? Or is he gonna lose lifespan? It's not gonna be good. Either way, the crew are near the whole cake island, but apparently ended up in a sea of sweet syrup that has frozen solid because of the cold night. And giant ants have attacked them, but Brooke put them to sleep. Pedro finally reveals to us his secrets. It turns out Pedro was a former pirate. And no, not just any former pirate. He had a bounty. Yeah, Pedro of the Treetops is not just the captain of the crew. No, he actually has a bounty. Ooh, Pedro finally became a little bit more interesting now. Let's talk a little bit more about that, shall we? Apparently, Pedro traveled along with Peckhams. It's not confirmed if only he and Peckhams were the one, but given to the fact that Wolf Mink recognized him, it could be very likely that it's much more that there were probably more. Also, if Peckhams joined the Big Mom crew, doesn't that mean he is supposed to be a member of some kind of crew? Who knows? But apparently, he when he was a pirate he thought he was a simple explorer, but they put bounty on his head, and they were on a journey to discover poneglyphs, so they could be a mass asset to the mass necromancy. But apparently, to Pedro, he has fallen here once before. So what does that mean? Wait, fallen here? Could it be that Pedro actually got his lifespan stolen from Big Mom? If so, then that means probably the way Pedro says this situation seemingly seems to hint that he's gonna die. Maybe. Is this not something he has shared with anyone, and not even Karot knows that? But he will do this since the saviors. But he also reveals that even though the Strats were the saviors, he never expected them to show the road poneglyph, because they only showed them to one other humans before, and that was the Roger pirates. So do you know what that means? It means Pedro sincerely believes that Luffy is not only here to save Sanji, but he should also get the road poneglyph. Yes, that's it. Luffy's gonna defeat Kaido, and he's gonna take Big Mom's road poneglyph too. At least Pedro says he's gonna make sure he can take it to them. That means, my friends, he will have 3 poneglyphs at his disposal. And that final one, wherever that one is, means Luffy will become even closer on becoming the Pirate King. So yeah. Now this is loyalty, I gotta admit, I love it. But I can't help but shake the feeling that Pedro is gonna sacrifice his life here. So either way, next day they land in Whole Cake Island on the side, which the tallest castle is Bigger Mom's. So whatever awaits them there, on a secret location they see someone standing on the coast, but we do not see who that is. So Whole Cake Island. Jinbei may lose his life, an arm or a leg. And Pedro, are you gonna sacrifice his life? As I said, this chapter was full of heartwarming. But I cannot shake the feeling. I cannot shake the feeling that something very bad is about to happen. So all in all, a good chapter. As I said before, the most surprise here was the fact that Big Mom has a half mermaid daughter. I mean, of course she's half. I mean, Big Mom is a human, if we can call that human, you know. But still, I'm most surprised that apparently that the praline can breathe on the water. But seems she sincerely loves Aladdin, and she's the 29th daughter, huh? Things are getting exciting. But whatever despair awaits us, we will soon see. Give me your thoughts if you have any.